red. Like,
Yeah.
it's just that type of shit.
I am fucking.
Where you're trying to fuck, but it's the same controls.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking
That's the
Shit.
whole intro.
My name is Merrick Courtney, and here joined with me are my great co-hosts and even better friends, Henry Montiero and Ricky Baldazan. If you don't know what we do here at Talking Shit, one of us brings in a topic of discussion, and then we talk some shit about it. But today, this topic comes special from all three of us. We've all experienced this one thing, and this is our review, our first full review discussion.
Finally.
Of a certain product called Batman Arkham Knight. And so how we're going to do this, I laid out a sort of how we're going to, a structure to this review discussion. We're going to talk about gameplay, then we're going to talk specifically about the Batmobile, we'll talk about story, we'll talk about our favorite moments of the game, we'll rank all of the Arkham games, and then finally we will each give our final rating of the game, a score out of 10. How's that sound? Sound great? Dandy? Now, from here on out...
My review. Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, from here on out, full spoilers of Batman Arkham Knight. You might have noticed I edited in each of our percentages right now, currently, of the game. You might have noticed Henry's is a little low, and you're thinking, how can you go into spoilers? Henry knew the story even before I beat it, so it's all good. We all know what to do. We all know what we're talking about here. And Henry's played at least enough of the game to understand.
What do you mean Batman's Bruce Wayne?
Oh, shit.
Too late.
Let's go straight into it. Gameplay.
Solid.
Solid. Like just
Yeah,
like
it's
the
pretty
basic, like this, the basic. Not even talking about the Batmobile, but like as Batman.
Fucking solid.
I think
It feels
was
good.
Yeah, it felt like, especially going back to Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum feels so fucking clunky and just weird and slow.
Yeah.
And this, you're just going into it, and a lot of people are making points that you don't even need a lot of the gadgets to take people down.
Nope.
But I think that's a service to the fans almost, in a way where you have these gadgets that Batman would have, so the Batman fans would want to play it as, how would Batman think this way? And like, you can let the general audience just do whatever the fuck they want. But Rocksteady was definitely doing that, geared towards more of the Batman fans, of letting them think of how Batman would think.
Yeah.
And yeah, and there's a lot of variety, as I was saying. Like, I really liked the environmental takedowns and stuff, like putting people into like the generators and stuff. I don't know how that's not killing them,
Right.
but it was so cool as fuck.
Batman
and then like
doesn't
dropping the like lights on them, or like,
Batmobile assist.
oh, the Batmobile assist where you can punch them up and it like hits the
crazy
bag
good.
at them.
I'm convinced that's just rubber bullet things like in Dark Knight Returns.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, of course.
Rubber bullets.
Great, solid gameplay. It was flawless.
yeah.
It was
Yeah, it's pretty good.
absolutely flawless.
And I think the best part of the gameplay so far, and this is where we're going to go into major spoilers starting here, the best part of the gameplay was that Joker first-person shooter.
Oh yeah.
And we'll get more into that later, but I just
Yeah.
want to throw that out there. But going basic into Batman, I think the best parts of the gameplay, going away from the Joker part, was being able to do that dual team. Of like, those were the greatest moments, like teaming up with Catwoman and fighting all the Riddler bots, and then teaming up with Nightwing to take down Penguin, and then teaming up with Robin finally to take down Harley Quinn and like the Joker people.
It was a great way of like showing all the different people associated with Batman and everything. It was the
And like how they
way.
work together, it was
Except
really
the
cool.
Huntress.
Like, you actually got to work with them instead of like,
Yeah,
oh,
except
like they're
Huntress.
except like, other than like, oh, he's over there, so you're gonna beat him for a little bit. Like, no, you're fighting with Batman. You're still
Yeah.
That's the overlying plot to this game. Fuck Huntress.
I think the one part of gameplay that dragged for me, and Henry, you haven't gotten to this part, but I think you were watching me play this part, was when you have to go into the airships
Yeah.
and you have to do like the whole tilting.
That was annoying. That was absolutely horrid. I hate.
And it's even worse because you're gonna try to get all the Riddler trophies, right? You have to go back there. There's not a lot of them, but you still have to go back into those airships to
I knew I
fucking get
had
the
to. I
Riddler.
tried to do as many as I could
Yeah.
before I left.
Because you're just like, I don't want to fucking go back to this place.
No, I hated that part of the game.
Yeah, that was... But I did like when you finally reach when you finally reach Scarecrow in the airship, and you have to fight like Joker sort of takes over the body for a little bit, and then he's like taking over Batman's body. He's just fucking like people up.
Yeah.
And then Scarecrow sort of right when he like detaches himself from the airship, he's like, "You're different. Like there's something weird about you." And then he so good.
So many things about this game.
Before we go into the story, because that was more of a story point.
Yeah.
Batmobile. How do we feel about the Batmobile, guys? And I've never seen something in a game be so divided by the reaction. People either fucking love it or they downright hate it.
I think it's okay.
This is
Yeah, you think it's alright?
just to throw what you just said out the window. I think it's okay.
I think it's good.
I can take it or leave it. Okay, I absolutely fucking love the Batmobile.
Yeah.
But the one thing I have to complain about the Batmobile is all of those fucking tank missions.
Yeah.
They push that shit. You have to do this.
Yeah.
This is how you play the game. Like I don't want to feel like I felt this game. I felt like Batman.
And it's
more
just so weird because like when you go into just Batman, you have a lot of variety, and they give you like this open space of like how to do it. But when it came to these tank missions, it's like this is how you do it.
Yeah, it was.
And
tedious.
it was almost like I don't know what they were thinking of, especially when you get into the stealth tank, which was fucking awful. I think the Cloudburst boss fight is one of the worst moments in gameplay history of all time, to be honest.
Which one?
So the Cloudburst boss fight is when the Arkham Knight is in a tank, and you're trying to take it down, like the city is engulfed in the fear gas. And what you have to do is there are different points on the Cloudburst tank, and you have to like sort of stealth him for a minute, and then shoot, and then you have to start running away, and he's chasing you, and you feel helpless.
Absolutely.
And it's not, and it's like the most nerve-wracking feeling, but like not in a good, like it's not like
oh, like this is exciting. This is like what the fuck.
It was just like because I knew if I died, like I would have to do all of that shit over again, and I was just like, fuck, just let me get through this. Just let me.
Yeah,
it was
the most stressful part of
it
this
wasn't
game.
intended to be stressful, and that's why it was just terrible as fuck.
Yeah,
it
would have been sick.
and the way they decided to. The way they broke up the Batmobile was very weird. Like, the Batmobile just needed to be driving around and chasing down cars. I feel like the whole, the chase with, who's the flame guy? The... Firefly. Like, chasing him down, like, in the Batmobile felt natural. It felt like, alright, like, this feels like something...
Like jumping out, tackling him, like, that's cool.
That's cool, and, like, I would do that.
Batman would do that.
So, those moments felt nice, but then... the tank, it was like they were thinking, what do people like about the Arkham games? They like our fighting mechanics, and then they like the detective mode. How do we put that into the Batmobile? And it's not, a lot of people are saying the Batmobile was shoehorned in. No, these mechanics that didn't belong with the Batmobile were shoehorned into the Batmobile.
Here's my thing with the Batmobile. Like, it's fun to drive around in. I will
It's
give
okay.
it that.
I like it.
But here's my thing about it. You know, it's way more fun to travel in this game as Batman.
I actually enjoy both.
Yeah.
I like driving
I like them both
around.
equally.
Like I love gliding around, looking at the entire city, seeing how beautiful and like how just like real. I don't even know how.
No,
to,
I totally get what you mean. Like sometimes I like to like take in the game a little bit.
Like
fly around,
when we got
enjoy
it, like we got the 9 o'clock release and we went to my place and just like the
we
intro.
were on that little thing for a while.
Yeah, we were like the beginning where you see like after you cremate the Joker and Gordon's like narrating, and then you see the bat signal fly up, and you start out as Batman like on that pillar. We were just there for like 3 minutes, just looking around the entire city.
Like seeing like you could see people fucking walking. You could look back at Arkham Asylum and just be like...
Yeah, you could look back at Arkham Asylum, you could look back at Arkham City.
There was a moment where we looked at Arkham Asylum and we were just kind of like...
Fuck. The feels.
I like how no one in comics can agree on whether Arkham Asylum is an island or just like a hospital, often like the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
think
love
for
that.
the person of the for the purpose of the Arkham games, they wanted to have be an island to feel isolated, you know.
Yeah.
But I do understand what you're saying about the whole
I just
like.
think it's funny.
But yeah, back to like the whole like Batmobile versus gliding. I like to glide. I like to take in the game.
Yeah.
But there's moments where I just like I don't want to have to deal with gliding right now. I don't want to have to.
Yeah, like I
do all
just
that.
like,
I just want to drive.
and I
get
just
there.
like driving around and people are like, "Oh shit, it's the Batmobile!"
Yeah, yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. I also want a reason to eject out. As
Yeah,
well.
oh,
I
yeah.
want to I always like doing that.
Batman
I-
just crashes into
And
people.
how do you guys
Creed.
feel about all of the convenient puzzles? Not the Riddler shit, but all of the puzzles that were conveniently solved by the Batmobile, like having to bust open this thing and then attach the cable to an elevator to take you down the elevator. Just let
Yeah.
me go down the fucking elevator.
I'm
you know?
Batman.
Like
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Like,
I'm Batmobile.
I'm Batman. I do what I want.
Yeah.
Do you not understand
so
that?
it was just like this it was just very like. Because I remember the first time I played it, when we got to that part where like you have to go down to the elevator, I was like,
I literally
This
heard
is
you.
cute.
I heard you go like, "What?" I was falling asleep as he's playing the game in the morning, like early in the morning.
it was
and
like 2:00.
Yeah, and all I hear is "What?" And then I look over and it's that mission.
For me, I think it would have been more fun to just have, if they kept the Batmobile more as like how it is and like how it was like earlier before they went like the Batmobile. It's also a tank, but mostly it's a mobile.
like this is like his form of transportation.
Yeah, this is I would have liked
like
something I
Batman
liked about
1989.
Yeah.
like the thing The Witcher does well is that you don't have to solve things using your fucking horse.
Right.
That's
No,
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
The horse is a great
The horse
use
turns into a tank.
the horse is a great use of transportation.
Yeah.
But if you try to do other things with the horse, it'd be fucking dumb. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what they did with the Batmobile.
Because this is the only thing that I really loved about the Batmobile and why it made me like it so much is that being in the Batmobile, seeing it, and just having it like go into a cutscene and he like drifts and then it just goes close up to the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this is putting more into this game to make me feel like Batman.
Yeah.
I don't need the tank. I don't need to use it in missions. I'm gonna use it to drive around and to literally like glide off a building, call it, and then that's what I like it for. It made me feel more like Batman. I don't
Yeah.
need that tank shit.
And the tank stuff wouldn't have been as bad if it wasn't such a main force in the main story.
yeah, like
Like
you
I found
had
myself
to.
going to side missions because I was just fucking done with the
Yeah, it's
the
not
tank
like
missions.
it's not like tank missions.
Like
are
it
just
would have
like
been
challenge
fine.
mode.
It would
No,
have been
it's the
fine if
story
there was
mode.
like 1 to 3 tank missions and then like a couple of side tank missions, you
Yeah.
know. But it was literally at one point I was like, help Ivy, tank mission. Do this, tank mission, do something else, tank mission.
It's
and
like-
I was just like, fuck, guys.
To me, I think of like how Grand Theft Auto 5 got it right because they built that game around the heists, and there were like 3 heist missions in that game.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if there were too many heists, it would just be like, Okay.
We have to rob a bank again, and then like if you want
Like-
more of that, go on GTA Online and you can do heists with
and
your friends
fail constantly.
because none of you can communicate.
I also loved being everybody's cabbie and taking everybody to JCPD. All
Oh,
the
yeah, that was
time.
cute.
That was
I actually really like the GCPD. Like before we go into story, like the GCPD was basically your trophy room, and it was so fucking cool. Like I guess we'll go into a little bit of story here. Like at the beginning, when you go into the evidence room, and then seeing the Talia al Ghul thing, and like
and
it was sort of like a pay your respect moment.
and as you beat people in the game, their shit goes into
Yeah,
the room as
they're-
well. So you could go back and they have like all like Two-Face stuff next to
Yeah.
all the bank stuff.
Yeah.
All this crazy. It's great.
Race.
I love
race.
I loved leaving JCPD for the first time and seeing all the cops and be like, "Oh, he's coming!" And then like they go.
Oh yeah, they're like all hanging around the Batmobile,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, this is the coolest thing ever." At one point, like later in the story, like someone's taking a selfie with it, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. It's great.
That was great.
It's great. I like the Batmobile.
This isn't a car.
little less tank. At the end of the day, a little less tank, but I do like the Batmobile. I like it being there.
And
Also-
and that's not, like the little things in the going a little more into story, like the little things of like the cute little taking selfies with the Batmobile, but also the. I always think the things that make the Arkham series great. A lot of people get annoyed that it's like the same sort of voice actors for the thugs. But I actually really like I think it's only 2 or 3 voice actors who do those guys.
Once you're done with the main story, I love hearing everything they have to say. It's
Oh
great.
yeah. So major spoiler here. At the end of the main story of Batman Arkham Knight, Scarecrow unveils Batman. As Bruce Wayne to the entire world.
Which is
so
shocking.
after you do the main story and you're doing all the side missions, you hear everybody's reaction to like we've been getting our ass kicked by Bruce Wayne for like 8 years. What the fuck? And the best part is, like, the Riddler refuses to believe it. He's like, no, that was a ploy. Like, there's no way I've been beaten by this spoiled, like, billionaire brat. Like, it was great. Like, it was just fantastic. And
No way a billionaire could solve my racetrack.
And speaking a little bit about the Riddler and some of the side missions here, well, how did you feel about the game forcing you to complete everything until you got the true ending?
I thought that was good. I thought
You
that
like
was,
that?
I thought that was a good play. I think it's, even though it's a...
It gives you a little more motivation.
Two things. Yeah, it's a bit more of a forced way to make people do this, but
Yeah.
but I like it because it's this is a good game. Play it to its full extent.
Yeah.
Try everything.
I do like it in the sense that it's realistic that Batman wouldn't do all of that until he knew everybody was inside.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they were going for. But you gotta, like, from a gameplay standpoint, you gotta start understanding that Riddler stuff is for collectors.
Like, they should have done, like, you can defeat the Riddler without having to get all the trophies.
Exactly. Like, doing all of, like, the watchtowers and stuff was fine. Those parts felt going back into gameplay a little bit here. Taking down the watchtowers and all the Arkham Knight standpoints felt a little... Infamous Second Son. In a way. And that's something Infamous Second Son... It's not a bad thing. I think that's one of the things it did well.
I totally understand what you meant by that, by the way, now
Yeah.
that I finished it. I totally get why it's, like, Infamous.
In the way where there's just something about it where you feel like you need to get all of this shit out, and that's what I did in Infamous. I took out everything off of that map before I even finished the main story.
Yeah.
And that's something I would have appreciated a little more, is if you could beat a particular side mission before you beat the main story. So, again, spoilers, after Arkham Knight, like, after the main story, Arkham Knight's, like, sort of disappeared.
Yeah.
And all of the people who work for Arkham Knight are like, oh yeah, the new boss is in town since the Knight left.
Knock, knock. Slade.
So Deathstroke was hired as like a second in charge.
Deathstroke the Sladiator?
Yeah. And it felt a little shoehorned in because there was absolutely no mention of him during the main story, like whatsoever. And then you couldn't. So I played through it twice. And the first time I didn't know, like, I was just trying to do story and then do all the side missions later, and that was fine. And then when Deathstroke came in, I was like, okay, that's fine. When I did New Game Plus, I was trying to actually do the Deathstroke stuff before the main story ended to see if there's any, like, if there's any point where, like, Arkham Knight and Deathstroke, like, communicate towards each other in the game. They actually block the side missions off until you beat the main story at one point. And I don't like that. Because I wanted to be able to actually beat everything before the main story, to do the main story ending, and then see the main ending right after, which would have been cool.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think that's my problem with it, is that, like, the story ending doesn't feel like a good ending, and that's because you don't feel like you get all of it, you know? It just feels very distant. And
I feel like I'm getting organized for me. I don't feel like I'm making these decisions as Batman.
But let's go into the meat of the story here. Joker's back inside Bruce Wayne. With the combination, it was always unclear.
Does this mean that Bruce Wayne is damaged?
It was always unclear why Joker was there. Like, it was because of the Joker blood? Was it because of the fear gas? Like, what the fuck?
he going
was it a
insane
combination of it? I think it was like a combination of the two, of like the Joker blood and the fear gas. Of like the Joker blood was definitely taking over his body, but the fear gas was showing him the visuals of like sort of showing him a metaphor of like Joker taking over his body.
But I also think it's
like a way of-
void thing. Like, he misses him in the way.
Yeah.
Up until no, I think like that was like the very beginning of it, like beginning of the game where he like needed him when he first showed up. But once it like the story started to develop, it wasn't about that at all.
I think this game sent off Joker in a great way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially for Mark Hamill. I think this is definitely Mark Hamill's last time doing the Joker voice. He said, a lot of people think they're doing a Killing Joke animated movie, and a lot of people think he's coming back for that because he said he would come back to do Joker. They did the Killing Joke, but he was referring to the Arkham series doing the Killing Joke, which they do in this Arkham game, which they probably put in because they wanted Hamill to be a part of it. So. I'm looking through my notes here. So I really like when you get introduced to the Joker and he literally just pops up fucking everywhere in like the least unexpected points. Where like after Oracle gets kidnapped and you shoot up and then he's like on the roof. He's just like chilling
He's
out.
like, ah!
Or no, so that
No,
part's a different.
Man-Bat.
That's referring back to Man-Bat.
Yeah.
When I went to playing New Game Plus, I still jumped at Man-Bat because it was a completely different location this time.
Right.
And then the Joker does it like later on, and I totally forgot about that Joker part. I was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah, it's
I actually
so
like
good.
yelled when the Joker did it. I was like, God
Did you
damn
shake your? Did you bring your brown pants?
Ah, you're funny. I want to talk a little bit about
Oracle
the side missions here. Let's talk a little bit more about the main story, but like the Joker, like once they take Batman back to Arkham Asylum, and let's just talk about how awesome that that scene was of taking Batman to the asylum, because it's exactly the opening to Arkham Asylum, and the same music too, and the like taking him in, and then his literal worst fears had come true, because in the Arkham Asylum, the Scarecrow hallucination is him being taken in on that fucking thing by Scarecrow, and it's like that actually happens, and like when I saw it, I was like, fuck, these guys are really good storytellers.
And not to mention, I'll never get used to going up the elevator in the clock tower, and or no, sorry, not the clock tower.
No, so that's at the Panessa Studios, where you're
Panessa
going down
Studios.
and you're about to face Harley Quinn
and then
and
turning
Joker.
around and Jokers, and then you hear the
Well, no, you hear the thing first. You hear the boom, boom, boom. You were there when I played through that first, and we got fucking chills.
I would hate to wake up in the middle
Oh
of the
my
night.
god! No, that
and
was like one of when we go into favorite moments. That's definitely one of my favorite moments. And then turning around, and then Joker's back in like the little stool thing.
And they have the TV and it says Arkham Asylum.
Oh my
I would
God.
hate to wake up in the middle of the night and hear dun 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 dun, because I hate it. It's scary.
I'm starting to realize like that
I'm gonna
tone.
sneak into
I
your
didn't
house and play
realize
that.
like how that tone, like how important that tone is to me in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's not like that tone has been in any other Batman thing or anything. It's just the series. And then when I heard that, I was like nostalgic. I was
Yeah.
like, holy fuck. Like it was almost like Bully in a way, where you hear Bully music for the first time.
It's
and you're
been
just
a
like,
while.
fuck. And but the weird thing was, it hadn't even been a while for me. Like I had played through Arkham Asylum a couple days earlier,
Yeah.
but it was still just like that moment of like, fuck this that tone is so fucking good, and it's so on point for like the like eeriness of Arkham Asylum.
Oh yeah.
Going into some side mission stuff here. No, actually, I'm sorry. I keep doing this back and forth. I do want to talk about the Joker point, where you go back into the asylum, and then you have to face off with Joker.
It's a big game. It's a lot
where
of
you
game.
have to face off with the Joker in your mind.
Yeah.
And that part was so fucking cool.
Is this? Are we going into favorite moments right now?
No.
Okay.
We're still talking story.
Okay.
Of like the first person shooter, and you're killing like Two-Face and Penguin and Riddler and all this stuff.
How satisfying it was for me to shoot Penguin. Oh my god!
What do you have against Danny DeVito?
I was so happy when I shot him. I shot him like 3 more times on the floor, and then I walked
I was
away.
more happy to shoot Riddler.
Really?
But I think
Oh,
it's
yeah,
funny
yeah.
when Riddler takes the hostage. He's like, "You won't do it," and then you shoot both of them.
Solve my racetrack! Solve my racetrack!
But I thought it was also like sort of. But it's so weird to think about. If you think about that for a moment, they don't see Joker. They see Batman.
Yeah.
From their point of view. And it's fucked up to think, especially when you walk and the last person you kill is Harvey. And you're like thinking, like, they don't talk about it a lot in these games, but you just think about like that relationship they once had
Yep.
with. Or like, he does talk about it in that moment. It's like you're turning into everything like we once tried to take down and stuff, and you're just like, fuck. Like just being a Batman fan, you just know how big of a moment that was to like kill Harvey in your mind.
Yeah.
And like backtracking a little bit,
A little bat.
when the car crashes and you're taking down all the Jokers, and that moment when you're about to snap the Joker's neck, I paused. I was like,
couldn't do
no.
I couldn't do
But
it.
it wouldn't do anything else, and I was like, fuck, I have to do this, and you snap Joker's neck, and that was like the moment where he took over your body.
When that happened, I literally left the game there, went to go get some water, and then came back.
It was still,
thinking
like, there.
about it. Like I'm like, no, it'll probably.
It was like
change,
a
so I
big
left
like
it there.
life moment for you.
Yeah.
Like, if this was Inside Out, like that would be like one of the important life moments that go into your core memories.
Yeah. Like I had to go get some water.
Killing Joker Island.
I went to go get some water, came back, it was still there. I was just like,
Fuck. I don't want to do this.
I was just like, no. Oh.
So there's some of the greatest story moments. I think this is the best story of the Arkham games, definitely. But let's talk a little bit about the Arkham Knight himself, Jason Todd.
Yeah, that's
Jason
pretty
Todd.
good.
Spoilers. Jason, if it wasn't already fucking obvious to you, Jason Todd is the
Yeah.
Arkham Knight. Now I was contemplating this a lot because I liked the build-up to it. When you go to the Panessa Studios and you're tracking down all the Joker people, and then those moments by yourself when you have the flashbacks to the death in the family, and you see Joker torturing Jason, and like at that when they showed that in the game, I was like, they confirmed it. It's Jason.
Yeah.
The thing that made it obvious was not anything in the game itself. It was how they marketed it. And the fact that if they kept quiet about Arkham Knight as a character, if they had said nothing that like Arkham Knight is a new character or anything, if they had revealed that Arkham Knight was an actual character maybe a month before the game came out, then it would have been like, oh shit, like who is this guy? But we had literally a year and a half to contemplate about it.
Yeah.
And the one answer that made fucking sense was Jason, you know? And I appreciate that they wanted to do their own, like, retelling of Red Hood. And I think in the Arkham, like, universe, I think this story of him, like, turning into Arkham Knight and then turning into Red Hood actually sort of makes a little sense.
Yeah.
Especially in this version and for Death in the Family, like, in their universe, like, he's being tortured in an abandoned wing in Arkham.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I think it was like a marketing thing, like a mishap where they revealed too soon that Arkham Knight was an actual character, and then they said, it's a new character.
Stupid.
Yeah, that's all I like. And I think it would have played out, like, I understand, like, when Jason Todd was revealed, I was like, okay, that's obvious. And I was sort of, like, let down in a way, but, like, looking at it, like, objectively and, like, that was my sort of own emotional thing. But actually, like, looking at it and looking at the story, like, the plot devices and all this stuff, I was like, that actually makes a cool story. And if this was the first time it was ever done, it would have been fucking awesome. But it's not the first time it was ever done.
To be fair, if it was anyone else, you would have been pissed because it would have made way less sense.
A lot of people were thinking it was going to be Joker, and it's like, are you fucking serious right now?
Stupid.
Get the fuck out of
That would
here.
be a
Joker
terrible
wouldn't
plot.
act like that. That wouldn't be Joker. That's
Yeah.
not fucking Joker.
But almost at the point, like, it was almost confirmed for me it was Jason Todd. Like, I didn't let on when we played through this. But when you first see Arkham Knight, like, face-to-face, when you're stuck in the thing with, like, the guy is, like, zip-tied, and he's, like, pointing out all the things. He's like, don't shoot there. That's, like,
Don't
the
shoot
hardest
there.
point.
That's where he keeps it.
I was like, it's fucking Jason. It's Jason. Like, that's... And then it was really obvious because the voice of Arkham Knight is Troy Baker. Congrats to Troy Baker. I'm a huge fan of yours. Great guy. Most of the video games I own, Troy Baker is in,
Yeah.
and he does phenomenal voice acting.
Definitely.
So, good job for you for getting that part. But then they made it a little too obvious when Troy Baker also voiced Jason Todd in the flashbacks. It's like, okay,
yeah.
all right, thanks for revealing that.
What? Oh no,
And I think Arkham Knight, the story would have been a little better, at least, if we never found out who the Arkham Knight was.
And just left it at that.
And just sort of left it a little bit more ambiguous. Because that's sort of what the true ending was like. When, like, the two thugs are looking up at, like, that Batman or whatever. And that was sort of ambiguous. I think it would have been better if, like, the whole who the Arkham Knight is would have been better if we never really found out who it was. Sort of like Hush. Where Hush we assumed, okay, it's Tommy Elliott.
Yeah.
But then at one point, like, he never gets unmasked. So there's, like, that part where it's just, like, you never really know.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better if it was left off of, like, okay, we're pretty sure it's Jason, but it could have been maybe 2 or 3. Like, at one point, I wanted them to build up maybe Arkham Knight possibly being Talia. And her, like, coming back from the dead and her wanting revenge because, like, Bruce didn't save her or something, you know? So...
Tasia didn't see, like, the first part of the game.
Mhm.
She only saw, like, after Gordon was mad about Barbara.
Okay.
So she thought it was Jim the whole time.
She thought Jim Gordon was
She thought Jim
Arkham
Gordon.
Knight.
I was like, he doesn't have the physical strength to be that.
Yeah.
He
You
just
know what? It
can't.
would have been great if Arkham Knight was just Man-Bat.
I
But-
did.
and
One thing I did like about them revealing it to be Jason Todd was kind of like bringing it back and like once like you have Batman has an exchange with Jason, like beating him as Jason, not
Yeah.
as Arkham Knight. And
like
then,
when he has like the red hood.
yeah,
skull
like and he
frames.
like clicks his neck and then the red hood comes on and it looks cool and stuff. And then at the end when Scarecrow's like about to shoot Bruce or some. Was he gonna shoot him?
Yeah, he was like,
And then
he
Jason like shoots it out.
No,
of his
I thought
hand.
that was actually lame as shit.
Did you really?
Because
I
we
thought-
got nothing else. It was
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
we were in the
that's true.
truck and like Alfred was like, "Oh, someone's tracking you," and Batman's like, "Oh, I knew he would." I was almost suspecting it to be like Superman or something. I was like, "Oh shit! Like who's tracking him? Like what the fuck's going on?"
Yeah.
But then, like when Red Hood was revealed and shoots like the gun out of Scarecrow's hand, I was like, "Oh, that's who was tracking him." But then there was no closure moment where like after they take down Scarecrow, there was no point where Red Hood came down and then he was like, "Thank you, like so much for."
They didn't even
There was
do
no
a-
like moment.
They didn't even have like a look or anything. at
There
each
was
other.
no,
It
like-
kind of like.
It was just like he shot him and then he just like was fucking out.
Yeah.
It was like, all right. And then I was almost expecting him to be in the true ending at one point. I was like, oh shit, like something's gonna happen there, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think the true ending is fantastic.
Speaking of the true ending, like fear toxin, like what?
Yeah, so let's talk about so
What?
in the true there's two Nightfall protocols. There's one where if you beat a certain amount of side missions, you can get like the basic ending where Bruce Wayne goes home and all the press is outside because they know Bruce Wayne is Batman. And then he goes inside and Alfred's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And then Bruce is like, "Yeah." And then the Wayne Manor explodes. And then it goes into like, this is how it happened. This is how the Batman dies. And that's how it ends for the first Nightfall protocol. But then if you beat all of the side missions, then you can activate the true Nightfall protocol, which you get all of that at the beginning. But then it's like a year later or something, and it's Gordon narrating about like a friend of mine once told me that criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot, and he's talking about like. Then you see like Tim and Barbara are getting married, like he's on his way to their wedding and stuff.
Oh right.
And then you see like in posters in the background, like Gordon's the mayor and all of this stuff. And he's talking about like, but what happens when criminals don't have anything to be afraid of and all this stuff? And then you see a rich family going into an alleyway after they just watched the Terror, which is a movie that Sandman was in, or not Sandman, Clayface, sorry. And then you go into the back, and then like some thugs are coming up and they're beating up the family, and then they turn around and they see a Batman figure up on top of the roof, and they're like, "Hey, like Batman's dead, like we're not scared of him anymore." And then Batman rises up, and it turns into this fucking like monster, and then like it flashes in.
Frame.
I think it's great because that was ambiguous of like, who the fuck is that? Who decided like to use fear toxin in that?
When I saw the ending this morning, I was so angry at first when they didn't say anything. I was like, yeah, because I was so like excited to be like, oh well, like who's Batman now? Like, oh, let's figure it. I was like happy in the mood seeing the ending. Then that happened, and I like started yelling.
Your initial reaction was like, "Fuck that!"
Like fuck, and then I started thinking about it. And I'm like, that's
that's
actually
really
the
cool.
best thing they could have done
yeah.
for the game.
Oh yeah.
It was amazing. Because then you're thinking, like, fear toxin, was that just them being scared of it? Who the fuck is Batman? You know,
Yeah.
like, just,
Like who decided to?
See, now I'm just picturing like it freeze frames on like evil looking Batman, and then it just goes, "I don't want to wait for our lives to be over." Like it just turns into like 86.
Let's talk about some of the side missions here.
Hold on. Before we do that, just real quick. So, speaking of lives being over, so Batman and Alfred gone? Like, both of them just
We
dead?
don't know. We don't
That's
know.
another, like, just...
I don't
want you to
believe
die
it
with
because
me.
I don't think Batman would kill Alfred.
Yeah, no. I think...
If it was just Bruce in the house, fine.
Okay.
But Alfred was also there, so that's what I thought. Also, what the true ending was going to be was like showing like them escaping from the building and then going into hiding or something. You know.
It's like Dark Knight Trilogy. I'd love to go somewhere and see you having dinner with a nice lady somewhere. By nice lady, he meant himself. They're all friends having dinner together.
And Alfred's just in like a wig.
Like he's just in a womanly outfit, like
Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Batman?
He's just like fuck.
It's great though. Side missions.
No, I'm
So
telling
side
you, it just
missions-
goes like Alfred just goes, "How utterly proper," and then dies of a stroke.
So Deathstroke's boss fight.
See?
Very disappointing.
That's the one I didn't do.
That's the one you didn't do.
Yeah, I did.
He's
I'm like
been
one
revealed
away.
to you though, right?
Yeah. I'm one
So-
away from fighting him, but I heard it was like fighting him was like fighting the Executioner in Origins. Like it was just one hit.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, here's the thing. You don't really fight him. So you do all this stuff, and at one point he's like, "Let's face off, Batman. Let's do all this stuff." And you're like, "Okay, sweet." And he's like, "Meet me on Miyagani Island or whatever."
Is this what they actually said?
No, yeah, he's like, "Let's face off," like all of this stuff. And then Batman, like, you drive like on the in the Batmobile onto Miyagani, and then Batman's like, "Alfred, raise up the bridges, make sure he doesn't get off the island." You're like, "Oh shit, shit's going down."
Nice.
And then Alfred says, "All right, but his tank is invulnerable," and you're like, "Fuck, are you kidding me?"
What?
The best boss fight in the entire series, the Deathstroke boss fight in Arkham Origins, and you're taking that away from us to do a fucking tank battle? Are you fucking kidding me?
What?
All right,
Yeah.
but his tank is invulnerable.
Yeah.
What?
So,
But
so
hand-to-hand-
it starts off as the stealth tank where he has all these drones and you have to take them down. But it's his tank boss fight is not as bad as the Cloudburst one, in the way where once you do all of the stealth parts to it, you just go up to Deathstroke and you're just fucking like shooting at him and stuff.
So you're telling me
That Batman's best equipped ally, who can go toe to toe to him.
like the two fucking guys in this whole story that are the most advanced in hand-to-hand fucking combat
Fight
are
with tanks.
using tanks.
Yeah.
That's that they might as well.
It's just like Rocksteady showcased like how well how much they understand Batman and how little they understand Batman
That's
in
the
like one
equivalent.
game.
That's the equivalent to Bruce and Slade going, now you come over here. No, you come
over
here.
here.
Like
No,
what? Like,
no, you know what
what's
would've
that?
been great?
That's stupid.
One of
Yeah,
the
so you
great-
take out his tank and then it like fritzes out and then he like jumps out. He's like, "All right," and he like comes out and then you just like fucking take him down in one hit and then that's
The
that's
only
it.
way that fight could be worse is if they just fought using a pinball match. Like you have to beat Deathstroke.
I'd rather do the
pinball.
I'd rather do the pinball.
I do the pinball.
Actually, that sounds amazing. Just seeing Batman like huddled over pinball.
He's a pinball wizard.
Alfred, give me the schematics. On their way, sir. Lucius, hand me the pinball armor.
So let's
It's
talk
already
about
flying.
the Deathstroke stuff was very, very lame. But let's talk Azrael. I appreciated a little bit. I thought what was going to happen for like the true ending was that it was going to be revealed. When I saw the Trophy Nightfall Protocol, my idea was you have to do the Azrael side missions
So he can
to
have him become Batman.
yeah. What I thought was going to happen was Batman was going to die, and then after the main story, if you didn't do all of the side missions, you would return as Batman as Azrael. That's what I thought was going to happen. It wasn't that. It was just doing a bunch of challenge maps as Azrael, and then at the end you have to make a choice of like whether you want to kill Batman or go off and like try to take down the Order of Saint Thomas. And I did both of them. The first time I chose to leave
Yeah,
because
that's what I did.
that's what fits with the
I
Azrael
like
character.
Azrael. I want him to be.
But
good.
then the second time, I try to kill him, and then Batman knocks him out. And then instead of 11, like in the GCPD lockup, it changes from 11 to 12.
Okay.
It's sort of like a secret little thing that you could choose to do.
Right.
So that's what I did, and that's all that happens. I thought Hush, his fucking side story, was the lamest fucking thing ever.
It was like 2 seconds. I was so when I texted you like, "Hush, holy shit!" It was like right when I found out about
Yeah.
it that he was there, and then
Right after
after
that.
I sent you the text. I finished it, and I was like, "But Hush is sick. Why would we do this?"
Yeah, it was literally like all you do is press triangle like once, and you have to do it within like a split second, and that's it.
Speaking of Hush, just so you know, I didn't know until recently that Hush was in City. I never did that mission. I never finished
Really?
it. I never did
There's
it.
a Hush mission. in
I
City.
hella didn't know that. I thought I finished City all the way. Oh, wait, what?
There's a Hush mission in City.
Yeah.
I thought I finished it all
It's
the way.
all the guys who have like the bandages
Yeah.
around their
I knew
heads.
that was him, but I thought I finished it, and I guess I didn't because I never got to see him.
Mm.
So I was really upset, and now I'm gonna play City soon, so I can
Yeah.
watch that.
Yeah. Oh, nice
I'd
little
be Hush.
a nice little Easter egg for the ending, the true ending of Arkham Knight, when all the press is outside of the Wayne Manor. There's a little prediction from our friend Calendar Man in Arkham City. If you set a certain date,
Everyone's
he tells
friend.
you, "I was there at your beginning, and I'll be there at your end." And for a split second, you see Calendar Man in the crowd
Really?
of the press outside of Wayne Manor at the end of Arkham Knight.
Rocksteady, you fucking me.
I know.
It's so good.
And it's just things like that that like totally made this game like worth to play. Like the Cloudburst was terrible, but then like right after that, and you get to do the Joker stuff, it was like made it so worth it.
And the fact that the one Batman villain that got away was Calendar Man.
Yeah,
he was just
like that was like the
roaming
one.
streets. He was like, I'm gonna take down everybody before I leave. Calendar Man, not worth my time. Kills
whatever.
billions later on. Death.
Calendar Man.
I thought the Man-Bat stuff was cool.
I was just gonna say that Man-Bat.
That was terrifying. That was fucking terrifying.
Well, Man-Bat's just like...
Man-Bat is my favorite bottom of the list Batman character.
Like, fucking D-list.
I take so much pride in my Batman book holding thingies.
Yeah.
Because then one side is like Superman and Bizarro, and then the other one is Batman slamming Man-Bat into the wall on the other side. So now I was looking at it the other day. I was like, I really appreciate this thing now.
I love Man-Bat. He's so ridiculous.
And going back to the Joker stuff, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here.
That's not Man-Bat.
The fact that Joker's last lines in the entire Arkham series is, Bruce, please don't leave me here. I need you. Like, it's good because he's bad, but, like, you can't help but, like, tear up a little bit. You're just like, fuck.
It was so rough.
It was rough.
I never wanted to.
Because you got, like, really attached to, like, in the other Arkham games, you're like, yeah, fuck the Joker. But, like, in this game and how they do it, like, Joker becomes Bruce, and Joker is Bruce's inner monologue, and so you become attached to him. It was almost like a buddy cop movie in a way, where like Joker was on your side, even though he was also trying to take over your body. He was like still trying to root for you in a way.
If you're a Batman fan, you read the comic books, you play the games, you have the same relationship with the Joker as Batman does with the Joker. You have the same exact relationship where you want him there always, but you want to kick his ass at the same time.
Yeah.
You have the same exact relationship with him, so it was the hardest thing
to
hear him say that. And I was just like, listen, it's more me, not you, but like I don't want to have this conversation.
I don't want to wait.
I'm gonna text
For
you.
my ass to be over.
Okay, so
what other side missions?
let's move on. To name the other one, you got like all the Arkham Knight stuff that leads up to Deathstroke,
Penguin,
Two-Face,
cool.
Penguin. Yeah, there's more like challenge mappy sort of things.
Yeah.
And then
Firefighters that lead.
Firefly. The firefighter thing was like weird because you thought it was gonna build up to something, and then it was just like
Firefly
So if you did the Firefly stuff already, you're like, okay, but he's already in lockup. Who is it? And then it became the captain of the firefighters setting off. It's like, I don't give a fuck who you are.
Like, it's Batman as a high school counselor. Like,
Yeah,
like
that's
I
what
just
it
don't
was.
care about it.
Let's move on. We got to wrap up soon. So favorite moments of the game.
I got it. I am the clown. Prince
of crime.
It's the Joker.
Joker singing.
Joker.
It's the part. If you don't know, when you're taking down Johnny Charisma, Joker. At one point, Johnny Charisma is like trying to sing, and then it turns into like the hallucination Joker.
Joker's like, no one serenades you but me.
Yeah, and it's like one of the lines is like, your parents are dead, and I'm still laughing. Jason Todd is still dead, and I'm still laughing. Like, it was like the most fucked up song, and I knew I had stuff to do as Robin, but I just wanted to like play through it and just like listen to that whole song.
Another thing that I really liked about this one, and I wish I put the.
Did you hear the Joker song for the credits?
No, I didn't.
The reprise of that song is fucking sad as shit.
Oh, I'm gonna listen to it after this.
Yeah.
The Batman's still
but
dead
no,
and I'm still
it
dead.
would have been better if like I played that mission with Joker singing in the 1960 skin, because it was very. It reminded me a lot of that, like kind of like goofy.
Just like
they're doing a musical right now, and then you have Robin, your partner, finally with you, going behind him, trying to like
unlock bombs and stuff.
I thought that was like almost an homage to that kind of stuff. It was
Is
great.
there a
definitely
way to
was.
get the Joker to look like Cesar Romero?
Yeah, and that was like the great thing. Like, this was like a really fucked up story, but they were like able to have moments that just made it. And it was because most of the stuff was so serious. The silly things definitely stood out. One of my favorite Easter egg is when you're hallucinating the Joker and you can go into Wayne Manor and you're listening through your voice, not Wayne Manor, but Wayne Enterprises, the tower. You can listen through your voicemails, and it's Joker. Bruce, it's your father. And he's like leaving like voicemails as your parents. And then like he does like this whole like extravagant thing with the father, and then like it ends. But then you can click it again. He's like, Bruce, it's your mother. And then he just starts laughing. He's like, it's funny because they're dead. Like it's like that shit was fucking hilarious. Like Mark Hamill is at his best. But go ahead.
My favorite moment that I've seen so far. I haven't actually played it, but I'm gonna go with when you first see Man-Bat because I saw it, someone else playing it, and I shat my pants.
Yeah, you were with me.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you might have gone to bed at that point.
Yeah, we were both asleep because
Okay.
then we woke up and then you went to the mission select and we're like, and I was like, oh shit, that's Man-Bat. Like,
Yeah.
Man-Bat. Because I'm like, ah!
Okay.
Another thing that's it's not like my favorite part, but I really like this. It was the moment where Bruce is in the chair.
Yeah, yeah.
And the moment where Scarecrow stabs him and nothing happens, and he's just like, "Why aren't you scared?"
Yeah.
And then he does it again, and nothing's happening. And there's that one point where you see Scarecrow like fuck, like he's scared. He's actually scared of Batman right now. Like that, I thought that was beautiful.
Because the whole point was he created this whole fear toxin because it wasn't working on him in the asylum, and so now he's got like this great invention. It's not working on him. He's just like, all of this work for nothing.
And then he turns it on him, and then you finally see he looks at Batman. It's like scary Batman. And then he's like,
and that's the same Batman you see at the very end of the at the true ending.
Yeah.
But other great moments, some of my favorite moments. Joker first person shooter.
It's great.
Again, going around like shooting the statues of Batman and turning around and being like right there, and then like him coming out of the statue. It was like holy fuck. But also going through the moments of like Batman showing Joker like your greatest fear is being forgotten.
Yeah.
It is like you being forgotten and like showing him being incinerated and then seeing nobody at the... What are you doing? You were concerning me. It looks like you're reaching for something, but there's nothing really there for you to bring here. So you're concerning me a little, Henry.
I just want to touch my NES games, man.
Okay. And like nobody is at your wake but Harley, and then... Like the radio show, it's like, it's been a year since the Joker died. Like, who? Yeah. He's like, oh, I see where you're trying to get at, Bats. And it's like, those moments are just so fucking on point. And then...
That whole dream sequence was Arkham at its finest.
I think the Death in the Family flashbacks were fine. They weren't my favorite moments, but one of my favorite flashback moments was the Killing Joke part, where after Oracle has been kidnapped, you go down there, and it's the whole recreation of... her being shot through the spine, and then you turn around and on the wall is you see what happens when you bring your friends into this crazy little game of ours, and you're just like, fuck.
I love that moment so much, but also because...
And that was the part where you actually woke up at. You woke up right when Joker shot Barbara, and you're like, what's happening? I was like, no, go to sleep.
Just go to bed. I know, but I love that scene for one reason, and I also love it, but main reason... I remember a couple weeks before Arkham Knight came out, I was playing Injustice with Tasia.
Yeah.
And she played as Harley, because she wanted to play as Harley. Yeah. So I was like, oh, like I'll be Joker then.
Yeah.
I picked that outfit from Killing Joke.
Oh, yeah,
And she saw it. She was just like, that's ridiculous. Why is he wearing that? Like, I was just like, do you not know where this is from? And she's like, no. Then she was with me right at that scene, and then she sees, like, Barbara open the door, and she's like, hey, that's that costume from... And then she stopped talking right when he shot her. And she was like, the look on her face, I was just like, now you know.
Yeah.
And it was
so your favorite... The thing that made it was seeing her reaction.
Yeah. But
see, I wish I could... And it's not that... I don't... You know...
Oracle can't walk.
So, I wish I could... Alyssa, the Shimoda here, she absolutely, like, loathes the Joker character. She just wants nothing to do with it. Right. And I can understand that. But I would love to see that, like, just be, like, that fully, like, realization. Because I think the Shimoda knows about that. Right. I talk about Batman so fucking much.
She has, like, surprisingly, she has a lot
of Batman knowledge, like, mainly because of me, though.
Yeah.
Okay. She has a lot of Marvel knowledge.
Knowledge.
She has the knowledge.
Like a Jewish mom saying knowledge, knowledge.
There wasn't a specific... There were a couple specific moments with the thugs talking in the background that really stood out to me. There was two thugs that were talking, and it's like, man, we should really leave Gotham, but, like, where do we go next? And it's like, Gotham's been so good to us. And that was obviously, like, Rocksteady saying, like, this series has been so good to us, we don't know where to go yet, and like we don't want to leave, but we sort of have to.
There's so many cry-worthy moments.
You're just like, fuck.
Next up, the Green Arrow game.
God, no. Any other standout moments before we move on? Before we wrap up?
I'm good. Man-Bat.
Man-Bat, dream sequence, Scarecrow, like, getting defeated.
Man-Bat, I'm a fan-bat.
Jason Todd moments, Barbara moments. The moment where... This is more like of a sad moment than, like, greatest moment. It was the moment where Gordon finds out that Barbara was working with him.
Oh,
He
yeah.
kind of, like, opens it up, like, hey...
Yeah, that's never happened before.
Yeah, that's
like,
why...
Like, that was a really crazy moment to, like, experience. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and the moment where Gordon's just, like, walking out on him, like, he's just like, this is it, we're done.
And, yeah.
It was great.
So...
I don't want to wait.
The next part that we're going to do, we're going to rank the Arkham games for each of ourselves. So, we'll start with Henry. Henry, from 4 to 1...
I never played Origins.
From 3 to 1, rank the 3 Arkham games that you've played. 3 being the worst, 1 being the best.
Arkham City.
Okay.
Three? Wait, which one?
3.
Arkham City's 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum, just because I love the atmosphere at Arkham Asylum so much.
Okay.
And it just sticks with me more than anything else.
Okay. Ricky, rating the 4 games.
Arkham Origins 4.
Yes.
Arkham City 3. Arkham Asylum. Arkham Knight.
Okay.
This is like big for me because I want to know.
You want to know mine?
I always want to.
Mine's going to be very different from both of you. Number 4, because I don't go with... I'm looking at the product overall. My number 4 is Arkham Asylum. And that is different from what I said. Like, I'm looking at this objectively, like, actually, like, as a game. Like, Arkham Asylum is probably my favorite one, but, like, as a game, I think it's the worst one, to be honest. Like, it all feels clunky, it all feels sort of weird. I do sort of love that Metroidvania style, but I feel like Batman feels more natural in an open environment.
Yeah.
So, and, like, there's no story, really, in Asylum. It's like, get the Joker.
Right.
That's it. And the reason why Origins is at my number 3 is because the origin story is so fucking cool.
Yeah,
like, the
that's
gameplay
really
sort of sucks. But it's not that it sucks. Like, it's better than the Asylum gameplay, at least. It's just, it doesn't add anything to City. So it's just like a literally copy-paste.
Yeah.
And you're like, alright. But the story was fucking phenomenal. And that's why it goes up there as 3. Number 2, Arkham Knight. The reason why I have this as my number 2 and not my number 1 is the Arkham Knight, in a lot of aspects, is a fucking perfect game. But it still has the Batmobile. And that's what City, like, City is so perfect, and, like, in every aspect. There's no point in City, except maybe the Riddler shit, but that's sort of always tedious in all 3 of them. So that's sort of its own discussion. City, you never have to deal with, like, a bad taste in your mouth because of a gameplay mechanic you don't want to use. And so that's why Arkham Knight's at number 2. And then number 1, of course, City, because solid gameplay, solid story with a lot of twists and turns at the end. So, yeah, that's my rating. And then let's rate Arkham Knight out of 10. Sorry, I don't know if you've played enough to fully give it an actual score that...
I'm going to give it a tentative score of 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
I'm sorry, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10? I give it an 8.8 out of 10.
No,
Doing the
look at
famous...
this asshole.
Doing the famous IGN thing.
Of giving the games 8.8.
8.8, too much water.
No, that was 7.8.
No, that was 7.8.
Too much water in Hoenn. How's they want from Hoenn?
8.8, yeah. Because I would give City probably like a 9. Alright. That was our review discussion of Batman Arkham Knight. That was fun.
I'm glad we got that.
We've waited so long to talk about our full feelings about this game. So it's just like a splurge.
There's still
of just
more
fucking...
to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, but we need to head out.
Yeah.
Because we need to do our other episodes of Talking Shit.
Yeah.
Which you can watch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays every week right here on baiazonagamers YouTube channel. And we've got other shows here on our channel. We've got quick reviews up every Monday and Let's Plays up every Friday. And today, for Talking Shit, our discussion was a full review discussion of Batman Arkham Knight. It was sort of like a combination of Talking Shit and quick reviews in a way.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining us and listening to our thoughts about Batman Arkham Knight. What were your thoughts about the game? Share them in the comments below.
I don't care.
And then share this video with your friends if you liked our opinions about the game. If you didn't like our opinions about the game,
Share it with Alan.
yeah. And then
Share with Alan. Alan gets all this mail.
so yeah, you got our other shows. We also have our Twitch show, twitch.tv/baiazonagamers every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time.
And Let's Plays that we will keep you current.
We've already mentioned the Let's Plays. It's okay.
I mean with the Twitch like streams.
I don't know if we'll be doing streams of games anymore on Twitch, but we every Wednesday 12:15 p.m. Pacific time we do a news show, BTG News, where we talk about all the current nerdy news that's going on in our lives. And usually Talking Shit is a topical based show, and this week we decided to talk about a little bit Batman Arkham Knight because it's an important series to
some cool
all of us. So thank you for joining us here on BCG's Talking Shit. Again, my name is Barrett Courtney, and these are my two great co-hosts and even better friends, Henry Montiero and Ricky Baldazan. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, of course, you can comment below. But you can also tweet at us at baiazonagamers. You can tweet at me at BananaLurchSong. You can tweet Henry at Henrysaurus. And if you have any technical questions, you can also tweet at our tech guy at 7Morris. At 7Morris, but the O in Morris is a 0. We'll leave it in the
Description.
the description below, so you can see all that stuff. And if you don't have the tweets, you can, of course, email us at baiazonagamers@gmail.com for all of your inquiries. And until next time, guys, have a great day full of shit-talking and Batman Arkham Knight. Thank you.